everyone, welcome back to Warner's Books, and today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Last Man by Brian Vaughan. So fair be warned that this book review is going to get very spoily because I have a lot of feelings about this book and I really need to get them out and projected to my audience. So I will do a synopsis slash sort of premise, and then we will get into the spoily aspect, and if you don't want to stick around, then you don't have to, and I will warn you when the synopsis is over. Last Man is about this society that is currently going through a problem. So we do meet the main character right away. His name is Rick, and he is currently dealing with a lot of issues. And it is really odd because you see all these different areas around the world that are going through other storylines, and it's really interesting because you get to see all these different characters through their own natural habitat and their natural state in which they're in at the moment. And so there's all these areas that will tell you what time it is in the book. So the main premise of this book is that the main character, Rick, is the last man on Earth after a plague randomly just gets rid of literally all the men on the planet except him and his male monkey. And so it's pretty much him going through the world as women rule it. And so he's trying to find his mom and his sister and his girlfriend slash somewhat fiance at the time. And so he's really trying to travel across the world and try to find them because they don't have electricity really anymore. Food is sparse. There's all this stuff going on. A lot of male jobs that happened in the world that the women were not a part of, and so there's a lot of issues on who should run those jobs now, especially in the government. And so Rick's mom worked in the government as a congresswoman, and she is currently looking over the White House. And so one of the main characters, a special agent, goes and tries to find a woman to be the next president of the United States and help the world this time. And so it's pretty much just Rick's story for the most part, and how he's traveling throughout the world to try to find different things in the world and try to correct it. And his character is very snarky and he's somewhat funny. He's pretty lovable, I would say. I really enjoyed his character. I think he did a great job with the situation that he's currently in, being the last man on Earth. This is book 1 of 4 books, I think, that are out at the moment. I'm pretty sure they're done for the most part. This is 10 volumes alone, and so it's around 300 pages, which I think is totally worth it because I go through graphic novels so quickly and I don't think that they're really worth the money. But this one was $20. I'm pretty sure I got it on sale for $16 or $15 or something like that. I can't wait to get my hands on the next one. I will get it soon. My best friend is actually reading the 3rd one at the moment, and he says it's getting really intense, and so I am really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. So that is the end of the synopsis slash non-spoily portion of this video. And so if you would like to pick this up, I will leave a link in the description below. You can check out the more detailed synopsis, I would say. Alright, so we're done with the the non-spoily section of this book. And so I would love to get into a depth conversation about how much I loved this book. So Rick, he was awesome. I think he was very cocky at some points. He thought that he needed to be the one to repopulate the entire world, sort of, but then he was like, no, I have Beth, and so I really need to just go find her and not repopulate the entire Earth, which, I mean, not everyone's gonna want to have sex with you, dude. And so I really enjoyed the White House portion of the book. I thought that was really interesting on how a lot of the other women are trying to get into the position of the White House. I don't really think that they're qualified just because their husbands were in those chairs, but I do like that they were trying to at least be part of the government and help out. I mean, they are family related to the people that lost those jobs, so I think it sort of makes sense, but I thought it was really fucked up when someone died over it. So let's talk about the Amazon women. What the fuck is up with the missing boob? I know that is something that is that the Amazon women did in the past, and it helps with the doing of the bow and arrow and their weird things that they do all the time, but I would not want to join that society and get my boob cut out, to be personally serious. I mean, I know that a lot of people were starved on food and they couldn't feed themselves and they couldn't be part of any kind of job that would help them out in that type of situation. And so I do know it is a life and death type of situation, but I would probably, I don't know, that's really selfish of me to say that, but they were a brainwashing type of cult and they were very feministy, even though they don't need to be feministy anymore. So I don't know. I was very iffy on the Amazon women. I knew they were the type of villains in this book one. And so it was really sad when I learned that Yorik's sister, the hero, was actually an Amazon, and I really didn't want her to be that. I think it's really sad how she turned out because of this type of cult. And by the end of the book, I was really shocked on how she was acting, because through Yorik, she sounded like a really decent girl in the past, that they had a lot of fun together, and I was really sad that her character ended up changing during this entire thing. Now, this situation is a very life-changing situation, and I agree that you would change to be stronger and probably a little bit more independent, and you would work harder to get what you want. But I don't think that you should get rid of your morals a little bit for those 3 reasons. So you could tell in the middle of the book, before she kills that really young girl, that she was pretty much on the verge of flipping over to that side of crazy. So once she killed her, she pretty much snapped and she was crazy-ish now, and she couldn't get back from that really, because she did this big milestone that was pretty much defined throughout the entire cult, is that if you killed someone, then you're probably most likely just gonna be part of their cult now. So let's talk about the Dr. Mann. I think she was a really interesting character, especially from the beginning when she was delivering her clone at the hospital, and I thought that was really badass. And I really liked when they found her that she was really trying to cure breast cancer for the women in the world, because that is going to be a really major thing that they'd have to worry about now. And so I know that it's really important to try and figure out these cures, but I did think it was really messed up when someone burned her lab to the ground. And I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about this book, especially during that that time where they were inside of the city. I thought it was really awkward how just one woman all of a sudden loved Yorik. Well, not loved, but really liked him. And I mean, you could tell right away that she was kind of weird, and that a lot of people he would come across pretty much wanted to just kill him. Like, yeah, let's just kill off the last man on the earth that could possibly redo our population. I know that some people thought they were better off without men and that they didn't really need them anymore, but I think that is pretty much wrong, and that we do need men in our lives and we do need them for specific things, but we do also need equality. A lot of these women, since they did have men, couldn't do a lot of the jobs that the men did, and so they didn't know how to do a lot of the jobs that are going on in the world. They didn't know how to, because since there's women that are in like, I don't want to really say a man's job, but that's pretty much how our society kind of is, but there was very sparse limited women in a type of man's job. And so the women that could do that most likely died, or they most likely decided not to carry on with all that. And so there's a lot of problems going on in the world that the women couldn't do, and they couldn't help out. Whenever they went to the town, you could tell that it was a really well worked out town, because these women were alone a lot. The men weren't there very often, and they could run their town how it's supposed to be run. And so they could fix electricity, they could grow crops, they could, I don't know, what else could they do? Just other everyday things. All right, so let's talk about that ending. Wow. So there are men in space. And the one question I was talking to with my best friend was, why does no one know about that? Like, there had to have been some women in NASA that knew that people were in space and that they would probably try to. I thought that would be somewhat of a side story in the actual book, and you don't even know about it until the last page, and there's even a woman on that spaceship. And so this pretty much this entire time span is just over, I don't know, maybe 5 months or so. You would think that someone would be like, yo, there's like 2 dudes in space. Do you think they made it? Should we go to NASA and try to contact them maybe? I don't know. Maybe try to find out if they're alive or not. But I guess if you would think that somewhat of a plague would kill out everything on the earth only. And so I would think about that. They probably weren't worrying about it, and they probably didn't have a lot of women in that type of field. And so I can see how maybe they'd be forgotten, or that they just weren't contacted because there weren't any women in that type of field work. So that's pretty much all my somewhat thoughts on this first book. I thought it was really, really good. I read it in about, I would say a day, maybe a day and a half, I don't really remember. Yeah, it was really quick. It wasn't really quick, it was a lot slower than it is for like a 50-page graphic novel, because this is about 250-ish pages, and that is a lot of graphic novel, I must tell you. It is a lot. And I really liked that it was a lot, because I love graphic novels, but I hate that they're so short and they each cost like $10 to $15, and this costs about $15 for $2.50. I think the artistic work in this novel was really good. I really enjoyed the somewhat sketchy slash silhouette-y style in this book. I think it was really well done, and I think that I am very excited for the next 3 books. I've heard that the second book mostly covers the people in space, and then the third book is very intense, and so I'm very much looking forward to picking those up. So if you like this review, please give a thumbs up, because it helps me out and it helps you out to find me in your search engines. And if you'd like to talk about this book, please leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear back from you, and I would love to know your take on this graphic novel. And do not spoil the next books for me at all, please. I would hate that, and that would make me very sad. And so thanks for watching this video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I will catch you guys later.